Hi, welcome to this new tutorial. This will be the start of a Fallout 4 inspired series. We'll be creating some features from Fallout 4 that I think are pretty cool. The first one we're going to be doing is a radioactive barrel that can increase the player's radiation level. In this couple of episodes we'll be learning how to import and texture our barrel. We'll be importing a ready-made barrel with ready-made textures and creating material for it, and then we'll be just creating the blueprint settings for the next task, which will just be creating the actual detection field and making sure the player has a radiation level. I'm just going to show you a quick example. So when I press play, I'm in my third person blueprints, and I'm just going to walk over to this barrel, and as you can see in the top left there is a radiation counter going up, and there you go, you are suffering from minor radiation poisoning. And when I walk away from the barrel, it stops. Okay, so doing that, we're just increasing the value of the player's radiation variable and then printing it to the screen for simple debugging purposes. So let's just get straight into it. In our third person blueprints, we're going to just create a new folder, and I'm just going to name this my barrel mesh folder. And in here, we're going to import our mesh and our textures. So I'll be providing these meshes for you. There'll be a link down below, just download them, use them if you want. So you can use these, if you do decide to use them, you can use the textures and the barrel free of charge for whatever purposes you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the textures and then this LOD 0 and just bring them in to my folder. When it comes up with this menu, just import all, because it's just a static mesh, we don't really need to change anything. Now we've got everything installed, we just need to import the rest of the meshes. So we're just going to go to barrel, and notice how it says LOD 0. Now LOD 0 means this is the highest resolution of that mesh, and now we need the extra level of details. We're going to go to LOD settings, LOD import, import level 1, go to the folder where you downloaded them and import LOD1, and we'll do it again, import LOD2, and we'll import LOD2. Now we're going to set up the simple collision. We're going to remove any collision here by clicking collision, remove, and then go back to it and just do add 10 DOPZ simplified collision, and that just gives us a more cylinder shape collision. Now I'm going to create a new material. So I'm just going to right click back in the folder, material, and I'm going to name this closed barrel, because it's a barrel that's closed, rust matte. So this is telling me what model it is. Well, it's the closed barrel, it's the one with the lid on, and it's rusted, and it's a material. So double clicking on this brings me to this menu. Now all we need to do here is actually just add our textures. So if we just do right click texture sample, copy and paste this for the amount of textures we need, and then hook these up, one to base color, one to metallic, one to roughness, one to normal, and one to ambient occlusion. I've also included a specular map if you want to use that. I'm going to, as I've noticed it does help sometimes. So we need another one. And something else I've noticed is I created these maps using Substance, but on import they're actually brighter than they are in Substance, so they're rendered differently. So to fix this, we're just going to hold M and left click to bring in a multiply, S and left click to bring in a scalar parameter, which I'm just going to name roughness fix, and I'm going to set it to a value of 3. And what we're going to do is take this white into the A, this one into the B, and then just put this into the roughness. Now we just need to assign the correct maps. So for base color, we want barrel base color. For metallic, barrel metallic. For specular, barrel specular. Roughness, barrel roughness. Normal, barrel normal. And I'm guessing you know the last one. For ambient occlusion, barrel AO. And we'll hit apply. And now, as you can see, there is some stretching here and these weird marks. This is just because it's textured onto a UV mesh, so it's not going to look right on the sphere, it's not going to look right on the cylinder, it's only going to look right on our barrel. And to prove this, when I go back into here and click Assign Material, Closed Barrel Rust Material, and we go to our highest level mesh, it's all here. And as we can see, it's not sparkling or anything too much, so the roughness should be okay. Now we need to fix the level of detail. So what I'm going to do is going to take off auto compute distance. And what I found was a couple of values that actually work. So for this one, I want 0.01. That means when this is taking up 0.01 of the screen, I think it's percentage, I'm not too sure, then it will go up to LOD1. And then when it's taken up 0.05 of the screen, it goes to LOD0, which is our highest mesh. So if we just now go out slightly, you can see it's changed to LOD1 there, and then it changes to LOD2. And the reason we've done it at these quite extreme values is that because when our player's walking up, there'll be less noticeable changes. So it's smoother. And one last thing to do with the barrel is to go to our maps, and what we're going to do is these MIP gen settings, just set them to sharpen 2, and then when you look at your MIP levels, you will see that at sharpen 2 it remains some detail compared to simple average. So as you can see, it's getting a little blurred there, at sharpen 2, it's just a bit sharper. And if you just do these for the rest of them, and if you don't know what mip maps are just basically when you import one texture, it creates different resolution sizes of that texture. So when it's further away in a different LOD, you'll be using a smaller texture size, which makes for better rendering. Okay, so now we've got the barrel imported and set up with a material, we just need to set up the blueprint for it. So we're just going to right click blueprint class, and we're just going to take an actor. I'm just going to name this C barrel for closed barrel radiation BP. Double click this to open it, and we're going to add a new component on the default scene route. We're going to add a static mesh. We're going to take our barrel LOD0, and then on that barrel we're going to go down to collision, severe collision. Make sure this padlock is locked, as this just keeps the scale right. And then we're going to set a scale of about 5, because in my opinion it's a closed radiation barrel, so the radiation leaking should be minimum, if any. And there we have our barrel ready to be set up to radiate our player. So here we've just learned to import it, set up the textures, set up the material, and create some mip maps from our textures. So I hope you join me in the next part of the video, where we'll be setting up the variables and the functions to actually radiate our player and create a more Fallout style world. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, give it a thumbs down if you didn't enjoy the video. If your opinions are otherwise, if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, advice, just leave it in the comments down below. Again, these barrels and textures, they're in this link below. They'll be on a Google Drive document. Just download them, use them for personal, commercial use. I don't care. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks guys, bye.